Hello and welcome to Let's Talk. Today we're going to talk about there are dangers in cell phone photos, and that's what we're going to talk about with our guest, Sergeant Darryl Curtis of our Pembroke Pines Police Department. Good morning,
Good
Darryl.
morning. How are you?
I'm fine, and I'm so glad to be doing this kind of show because people need to know exactly what. Nobody knows that you take a picture of your kid and it could be dangerous.
Correct.
So tell me why it could be dangerous.
Nowadays, with the way that technology's come along, is that with smartphones and maybe even some phones that aren't necessarily deemed a smartphone, the cameras and the apps that are in them, they allow what we refer to sometimes as a footprint. So you take a photograph and you think that, wow, that's great, I just took a beautiful photograph of my children,
Right.
but if you don't have a certain setting turned off, that photograph is footprinted.
Which means that if you post it on any social media site, what could happen?
If, nowadays, today, a big one is Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You put those photos of your children up for maybe a friend or a family member to see.
Right.
And if you don't have that setting turned off on there, the footprint will allow you to determine the location of where that photograph was taken. And then if somebody that was capable with technology to go back further and look into the properties of the photo could determine the address, the exact location, and pinpoint where that photo was taken.
And what room the child's bedroom is,
You can,
and where they go to nursery school. I mean, should be protected information could be accessed right on the social media site.
yes, if adults, and the big thing is adults, because those of us that have children and your children have these phones, it's up to us to take the precautions and make sure that their phones are protected so our children are protected.
Okay, so your phone would then work like a GPS, like tracking, and that photo could be tracked to the child's home, or person's home, person's bedroom, where they shop. I mean, everything that you might want to know about a person, you could get from manipulating that photograph.
Correct. And if you post it on something such as Facebook, if you have Facebook, obviously your name is on there, your quote-unquote profile of likes, dislikes, who you are, what you do for a living. Well, those are clearly, if you posted your own children on there, that kind of does half the work for somebody that was looking for it already, because they would have your name, they would have your likes, they would know what you do for a living, and oh, by the way, there's the kids, the setting's not turned off, check the footprint.
Okay, so that's what people can do to defend against the possible danger. How do you do exactly, what do you have to do to your phone to turn that setting off?
Inside your phone, and we'll talk smartphones because that's pretty much what everybody has these days.
Right.
Inside your phone, there'll be a settings, and it'll be your location services, or your privacy. And inside there, you can turn those off. If you turn the entire thing off, it'll then affect your maps or any apps that you use it.
Which you would need.
Correct, which you would want for if you get lost or you need to find a particular store.
Right.
So when inside that setting, you can then go down and determine which exactly apps that you want to turn off. And the most important one in this case that needs to be off is your camera. And if you turn don't turn your camera off, but when you turn the location settings for your camera off, you can then take pictures, and if you want to post them, they will not be, just the term that I use, footprinted. The location of that photograph will not be determined.
So that's how you protect yourself and your children.
Yes.
And your photographs.
Yeah. It's 2013. The technology is amazing, and I think most of us reap the benefits of it. But there's also a lot of risk that come with that. And like I said, the possibilities with technology are probably endless at this point.
And the technology is wonderful, but it's nice to know that there's a way to protect yourself, so that you can use the technology and enjoy it, and not be harmed by it.
And I'm glad you said that, because it starts in the beginning. If you go out to buy an Android, an iPhone, a Galaxy, and you're not familiar with something, just ask, or go into the settings. And the same thing goes for a laptop, any device that has these capabilities. You can go into your settings, you can go into your privacy, and a lot of this stuff can be turned off or made not accessible from the very beginning.
Sometimes it can be set as private so that
Correct.
you can view it, somebody that you want to view it can.
Correct.
But the public cannot.
For example, if you were to have the location settings on your phone turned off, and you had your profile for your Facebook or Twitter or whatever social media you use set to private, you're pretty well protected. I won't say it's impossible, because I don't think anything is impossible these days.
You know, hackers can do almost anything.
Right, but you're way ahead and a lot less likely to be violated or exposed where your photographs are or something of that nature. Location settings off, profile set to private, and you're pretty good.
Isn't it amazing in this day and age, there's you, a police officer, whose one of his objects is to protect against cell phone photos. I mean, it's mind-boggling.
It is, and like I've said, in my job, and I'm sure as well in yours, that technology has benefited all of us, and it's
Sure.
great, but sometimes I think that when we come out with this technology, maybe not all of the safety factors are considered, and it takes somebody to expose it, and then we have to do what we're doing like today to take the precautions to protect people and protect children.
And it's not only children. It's teenagers. It's females who may work late at night, who are, could be in danger of somebody looking to harm that kind of person.
Sure.
So it's all of us.
If somebody feels that they can expose or take advantage of that individual, regardless of age, race, location, any of that, then the best bet is probably just to have them turned off.
Turn it off.
Turn it off.
See, just do it.
That's it.
Sergeant Curtis, thank you so much.
Thank you.
This was wonderful, and I hope everybody understands that what we're trying to do is just help them be safer. Thank you.
Thank you.
For OCTV, I'm Elaine Kugelman, and thank you for joining us today for this Let's Talk segment with Sergeant Darryl Curtis about the dangers of cell phone photos. Thank you.